Hello and welcome to our Euro 2020 review. Again, today we're going to be touching on the 5 o'clock kickoff, the Group C games between North Macedonia and the Netherlands, and the Ukraine-Austria game. Obviously, North Macedonia are out, so I think we're probably just going to skip through this pretty quickly and focus on Ukraine and Austria. Um, as you can see from the teams, Holland lineup pretty similar, pretty strong lineup. Not too much rotation, if any. And I would expect this team to be more than good enough to beat North Macedonia. No disrespect to North Macedonia. I think they did incredibly well in getting here. And they've put a good showing considering the size of the nation and the investment in their football infrastructure. Pandev's been great. Seeing him at a major tournament's been fantastic. Um, yeah, I think they can, even if they lose, which I expect them to. I think they can go out with their heads held high. Um, I don't think anybody really expected much from them, and they've gave pretty much every team they've played a decent game. Austria, they had chances to do reasonably well. Ukraine, they got a goal. Um, I'll be honest, I think Holland's a step up from both Austria and Ukraine. Um, I think they reinvented themselves into Coman and under Frank de Boer, despite his Crystal Palace stint. I think he's a pretty good manager. He's a very good player. Definitely a man who can be a bit difficult to deal with, but I think he's a reasonably good manager. I mean, I can't see much of the way of Holland winning this, or Netherlands winning this. Um, I mean, I imagine Holland are going to be pretty chill. They're not going to press too hard. They don't want to risk any injuries or anything like that. Um, I could see them winning this probably 2-0. Um, maybe North Macedonia get a goal, but some consolation prize. But I think fundamentally it's got 1-2-0, really slow game written all over it. Um, the next one to have a quick look at is, drag it up. Is going to be this, which is going to be a much more interesting game, which is the Austria-Ukraine game. Now, obviously, Ukraine were technically the number one seed in this group. I've been very impressed with Yarmolenko and Zinchenko. I don't think the rest of the team, to be honest, hasn't really pulled up their weight as good as they were in qualifying. I don't know, they just don't seem as well drilled defensively. Yamatuk's been okay. They've scored some decent goals, but I think it took them far too long to get going against Holland. And they didn't play particularly well against North Macedonia. And I said before, no disrespect to North Macedonia, but that's a team that you're going to be looking at making a run in the Euros. You should be doing pretty well against. Um, I think it's going to be a close game. It depends which Ukraine come out. If we get the well drilled Andrei Shevchenko side, I would expect I would expect Ukraine to win the game. Um, However, that's not what we've seen. And although I'm pretty sure they're the favourites, I'd need to go and check the betting odds. I think I fancy Austria. I think Austria are a better side than people give them credit. Um, Having Marko Natrovic back after that random suspension for his disrespectful behaviour. Um, I say random, and I might touch on about this in a different video. It's basically from a consistency standpoint where they said it wasn't racist, but we're banning you because it was disrespectful. And I mean, if that's the case, then I think there should be a lot more bans. I think what he said was pretty derogatory, and I think UEFA just set a weird precedent there. But that's a separate matter. He's a good player, even if he is out in China. David Alba, obviously going to Real Madrid, top class player. Sort of built around trying to get him involved as much as possible. I know they had been playing him at centre back and centre mid and basically wherever he wanted to go. But I think putting him at left back is pretty good. Christoph Baumgartner, I think, is top quality. I think he is a fantastic player. Um, I would not be surprised to see one of the top um, Premier League, La Liga teams, Bundesliga teams. When I say Bundesliga, I mean Bayern. Look at picking him up. I think he's fantastic. I think he's a very bright future. I think personally, I think he's better than Tabita through the middle, but he can play out wide. Not really, so I think that's fair. I think honestly, I feel like Austria to edge this based on the way Ukraine have been playing in the tournament. As I said before, I think if you see the Ukraine that you've seen in qualifying that finished ahead of Portugal, if they play as well as we've seen them play, they should win this game pretty comfortably, like 2-0. But we haven't seen that. And if they don't really start with that intensity, I think I fancy Austria. Might go back and forth. I think if I was put on the spot, I'm going Austria 1-0 or 2-1. I think that they edge it by a goal. But I think this is going to be the more interesting game of the group. But yeah, leave your comments and your thoughts below, and yeah, we'll see how that goes at 5 o'clock.